Boxing, a sport rich in history, drama, and unforgettable personalities, has witnessed many great fighters, but none have captured the world's imagination quite like Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson. These two titans of the ring transcended their sport, becoming global icons not just for their prowess inside the ropes, but also for the profound impact they had on culture, race, politics, and the human spirit. To ask who was the greatest is not just to compare records or belts, but to evaluate legacies that stretch far beyond the ring. Ali, the poet warrior. Muhammad Ali, born Cassius Clay in Louisville, Kentucky, wasn't just a boxer, he was a revolution. He danced in the ring with the grace of a ballerina and struck with the precision of a sniper. He called himself the greatest, and more often than not, he lived up to that claim. Ali's record speaks volumes: 56 wins, 5 losses, and 37 knockouts, with victories over legends like Sonny Liston, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, and Ken Norton. But Ali's greatness wasn't only measured in punches. It was in his poetry, his wit, his audacity to stand against the Vietnam War, and his willingness to sacrifice everything for what he believed in. When he refused the draft, he lost his title, his boxing license, and nearly his freedom. Yet he never wavered. That defiance cemented him as a hero beyond sports, especially to the disenfranchised and marginalized. In the ring, Ali pioneered a style that defied boxing orthodoxy. He was too fast for a heavyweight, too smart to be hit often. He invented the Ali Shuffle, a flash of footwork designed as much to mesmerize opponents as to entertain fans. His rope-a-dope strategy against Foreman in the Rumble in the Jungle is still taught as a masterclass in psychological and physical warfare. Ali made boxing beautiful, turning a brutal sport into an art form. Tyson, the Beast Unleashed. Mike Tyson came from a world far removed from Ali's poetic rebellion. He emerged from the grim streets of Brooklyn, molded by a tough childhood and the tutelage of legendary trainer Cus D'Amato. Tyson was not just a boxer, he was a force of nature. At 20, he became the youngest heavyweight champion in history. He finished his career with 50 wins, 44 by knockout, and 6 losses. Tyson's style was the antithesis of Ali's. Where Ali floated, Tyson thundered. Where Ali talked, Tyson stalked. He had the shortest route to victory, a devastating punch delivered with terrifying speed. Watching Tyson in his prime was like watching a predator hunt. He didn't just beat opponents, he demolished them. In the late 1980s, his fights often ended in the first round, leaving fans both thrilled and hungry for more. His explosive knockouts became the stuff of legend. Yet Tyson's story is also one of tragedy and redemption. His rise was meteoric, but his fall was just as dramatic. Legal troubles, a rape conviction, time in prison, and a string of personal and professional failures marred his legacy. But in recent years, Tyson has undergone a remarkable transformation, from feared fighter to introspective philosopher, actor, and podcaster. His public honesty about mental health, addiction, and trauma has added layers to a man once seen as a one-dimensional brute. Tyson became more than a boxer. He became a cautionary tale and a story of healing. Ali versus Tyson, style versus power. The debate over who was greater must consider their drastically different styles. Ali was the ultimate tactician. He outthought and outlasted opponents. He made boxing beautiful, transforming violence into ballet. Tyson, meanwhile, made boxing terrifying. He represented raw, unfiltered aggression, taking opponents out before they knew what hit them. Could Tyson have caught Ali with one of those sledgehammer uppercuts? Possibly. But Ali fought and beat some of the hardest punchers in history. He took shots from Foreman, Frazier, and Shavers, all fearsome sluggers. Ali's chin was legendary, and his ability to adapt in the ring was unparalleled. He wasn't just a master of defense, but also a psychologist, getting into the minds of his opponents long before the bell rang. On the other hand, Tyson struggled against fighters who didn't fear him. Buster Douglas exposed a weakness in Tyson's armor, his reliance on intimidation. Ali, with his unshakable self-belief, would never have been intimidated. In fact, he might have used Tyson's fury against him, taunting him into making mistakes, tiring him out, and picking him apart in the later rounds. Cultural impact. Outside the ring, both men were cultural icons, but in different ways. Ali was a civil rights activist, a draft resistor, a symbol of Black pride and Muslim identity. His impact went far beyond sports. He was a global ambassador for peace, even after Parkinson's disease robbed him of his voice. His speeches, interviews, and mere presence elevated him to a status rarely seen among athletes. He wasn't just loved, he was revered. Tyson, too, had cultural impact, though it came through a darker lens. He was the first boxer to become a pop culture anti-hero. He was referenced in rap lyrics, movies, and video games. His voice, once mocked, became a symbol of his uniqueness. He embraced his flaws and grew into a figure of empathy and curiosity. Tyson's ability to reinvent himself in the public eye is a testament to his complexity and humanity. Legacy and longevity. Ali's career spanned 2 decades and multiple comebacks. He regained the title 3 times, something no heavyweight had done before. He fought the best of his era, often when they were at their peak. He was never afraid of a challenge. Ali's longevity and consistency added another layer to his greatness. Even when he lost, he did so with dignity, often against younger, hungrier fighters. Tyson's reign was shorter but more explosive. At his peak, he was arguably the most feared fighter in history. But his decline was steep, and he never beat the top names after his prison stint. He remains one of the most influential boxers ever, but questions linger about how he might have fared if D'Amato had lived longer, or if his personal life hadn't imploded. Despite his early setbacks, Tyson's name still commands awe. Who was the greatest? If greatness is measured by skill, Tyson's pure ferocity and knockout power are hard to match. If it's measured by courage, resilience, and global impact, Ali towers above. Ali changed what it meant to be a champion. He changed the world. Tyson terrified it. Ultimately, comparing them is like comparing fire to wine. Tyson was the storm that burned hot and fast. Ali was the breeze that reshaped the landscape over time. Tyson may have knocked out more opponents, but Ali knocked down walls. Ali's influence on future generations is immense. Fighters like Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, and even Tyson himself have cited Ali as a primary influence. His fusion of intelligence, courage, and charisma became a blueprint for what an athlete could aspire to be. Tyson, on the other hand, influenced a generation of fighters who realized that fear could be as much a weapon as a left hook. He showed that dominance could come through mental warfare as much as physical. In terms of legacy, Ali arguably holds the crown. He gave boxing a soul. He showed that a fighter could also be a philosopher, a poet, and a warrior for justice. He was the greatest, not just because he said so, but because history agreed. Tyson may have been more dominant in his prime, but Ali's reign as a symbol endures to this day. But Tyson deserves his place in the pantheon. He brought electricity to the ring, raw emotion to the sport, and vulnerability to the public eye. He taught us that greatness can come in flashes, that sometimes the brightest flames don't last the longest, but they leave the deepest impression. Conclusion: Ali and Tyson were not just fighters. They were reflections of the times they lived in. Ali stood for freedom, resistance, and expression. Tyson stood for pain, rage, and redemption. Their stories remind us that boxing isn't just about who wins or loses. It's about who we remember and why. So, who was the greatest? Perhaps the better question is, who inspired more? And in that regard, the answer might not be found in a knockout, but in the echoes left behind. Ali made us believe. Tyson made us fear. Both made us watch. And that, in the end, is the essence of greatness. Their legacies are etched not only in record books, but in the hearts and minds of those who saw them fight, and those who continue to be inspired by their stories. Whether it was Ali floating like a butterfly or Tyson hitting like a sledgehammer, both men defined eras, captivated audiences, and left behind legacies that will be debated and admired for generations to come. In the grand tapestry of boxing history, Ali and Tyson are not simply names, they are pillars. One was the people's champion, the other a primal force. Both were legends, and both, in their own unique ways, were the greatest. If you enjoyed this video and want more compelling content on the greatest athletes, unforgettable moments, and what makes true greatness, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Who do you think was the greatest of all time, Ali or Tyson? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. See you there.